Okay, I'm live. Does it say live there? Hi, okay. This is Marion, and I'm known as Mama Cheesecake because I make the best cheesecakes around, especially if you're dairy-free or you're plant-based. I make an amazing plant-based one. Also, not to mention gluten-free. Anyway, I'm here on Facebook, and my sister is helping out. Camera person over there, she's doing Instagram. So hopefully if questions come in, I can answer what I can. And I have an audience over here. My audience is my mom. She's here also because, you know, this is the time right now, our new norm, our hashtag stay home time frame. And so our mom is here with us. So I'm getting messages right now that says I'm not on, but I thought this says I'm on. Can somebody wave? Well, we'll find out. It says live, so I think it's good. Anyway, let's see. What was I going to say? Okay, good afternoon. Thank you again for being here. Real quick, just wanted to let you all know, yes, I do cheesecakes. However, during this time, there's only so many cheesecakes I can make, right? And that's because I can't find all the cream cheese and sour cream and everything else that I use that I need. Even on the plant-based side, I can't find all my ingredients. So that makes it a little tough for me to do that. So I decided that the best thing would be is to go ahead and be able to create different things that I've always wanted to do. On YouTube, I placed a video. It's really raw, people, but it's there. And I did these amazing scones. And everything is going to have a relation some sort of way to what else? Cheesecakes. Like the scones taste delicious with some lemon curd and some of my lemon citrus cheesecake. The croissants, the same thing. I may use a vanilla one that I have in the freezer and be able to smear that on, which would be delicious. I'm trying to look here, make sure everything is going well. Anyway, still can't tell whether anybody is on or not. So if you are, I imagine I would see something.
I have one wave.
Oh, okay, good. That means somebody is there. Do you see a name?
Frosty?
Oh, that's Fadi. Hey,
Oh, that's Fadi?
girl, how are ya? How are you guys? Okay, so let's get going on this. So here's the thing with croissants. If you are a, what's the word that I want to use? If you're a baking purist, this may not be for you because no, I am not going to do the traditional. And if you're French, my apologies profusely if you are a French baker. Because what I wanted to do is figure out how can I do this without having to use so much product ingredients. And I found one through an individual called bakingmoment.com, and she did kind of a shortcut thing, and it's allowing me to be able to do this in a shorter time because instead of having to do 3 batches of the croissant, I'm only doing 2, and that's a good thing, right? Don't we think? Less ingredients. There's my audience. I had to get her going there. So this is going to be really interesting. Hopefully it goes well. I've never made croissants before, but my challenge to myself is to go out there and do as much as I can. So let's get going. Still not sure. I don't see anything on...
Stephanie joined over here.
Okay. So what we're going to start with is the flour. So this does call for 4 cups of flour. And so I have 3 cups in here already. I didn't do the full 4 cups because I wanted to show individuals a quick little trick that I learned. And especially when you're doing something like croissants, if you pack your flour, a lot of people will do this and then they shift that cup so that the flour settles down in there. You're not going to get an accurate cup. So what you do is you just kind of take your flour. I don't know if you can all see this. And all I'm doing is just kind of lifting and dropping it in. So I'm trying to loosen it up instead of it being all packed in there. And then after that, I will just scoop it up. I'm not going to go anything crazy. I am going to use my knife. my butter knife, and I'm just going to cut it off. You can also use your hand to go across, but my hands are completely cleaned. I followed everything that I'm supposed to. When I did the scones, I wore gloves, and I got to tell you, that was really rough. So I decided not to touch anything, and we should be fine with me using hands. So now I add my 4th cup of flour in there. You have to mix all your dry ingredients together, so that is 4 cups of flour. I am going to add 1/3 cup of sugar. I use organic sugar. I started using it when I was really going with my gluten-free and my plant-based cheesecakes, and I just like the whole idea of it better rather than having it go through a drum that has any type of bone char in it. So organic. I'm using active dry yeast, and it's asking for, where is it at? 4 teaspoons of active dry yeast, so I'm just dropping that in. And believe it or not, salt. Now, this recipe does call for 2 1/4 teaspoons of salt. I use kosher salt in all my baking. I always use kosher salt. I just like the way it tastes, the way it bakes up is really nice. Now, if you can only find salted butter, because what I'm going to be using is unsalted butter, then just reduce your salt instead. So mine is almost all unsalted except for maybe like 2 tablespoons. So I knocked down my salt just a bit. So I'm going to add that to the mix also. And with a wire whisk, just kind of get it all mixed in there. You guys, this is so simple. You're going to be able to do. I did the first batch this morning, and hopefully we'll get to have that. I think we'll be able to see it within the hour. Won't that be nice? I'm excited. I know my mom was excited about that. Okay, so you just want to take a whisk and make sure you get all those ingredients mixed in there. Now the next thing you're going to do is actually add your milk. This is 1 cup of milk, and you're just going to mix it in. Now I have a 1/4 cup on the side just in case I need it, and I'm going to just try to pull this dough together. If I need that other 1/4 cup, I will use it. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Oh, finally. Oh, Carla, you got in. Yay. As I said, Carla's my director. She has been working very close with me. Of course, not here. We are doing 6-foot separation, but we're doing it from home. So we were on the phone doing FaceTime. Carla, thank you so very much. And she helped me put this together here. So
are we going to get to see it baked?
I hope we are. That was my sister. She was asking if we're going to get to see it baked. And yes, I'm hoping so. Again, I don't want to keep you guys on as that long, so I'm hoping that within the hour we'll get to see it baked. Okay, so once you get to this, see if I smash this down, I'm going to hold this up a little bit. You can see the dough starts to come together, and that is perfect. So I'm going to take the dough off of here. Now at this point, actually it's time for you to wrap it up and stick it in the refrigerator. I'm going to just put this to the side, get my saran wrap. That was the only thing I didn't have pre-done. Okay. I had someone ask me prior and wanted to know if they didn't have any yeast available, because it's like gold right now, and I just lucked out. I just barely had enough. I'm going to put in another order and hopefully I get it. But you can actually, there is substitutes out there. A substitute, believe it or not, is baking powder, because all yeast does is create carbon dioxide, and in order to get that reaction, all you need is like baking soda and an acid. And actually baking powder has that. So it has the baking soda and it has cream of tartar, which is a form of acid. The other question I had was, could they use a gluten-free flour? And actually, I found out that yes, you can. So I may even do one at Christmas time, Christmas time, what am I talking about, right? Easter, I may do some so that my daughter and my son-in-law can have some croissants for Easter. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up now and get it into a tight ball as much as I possibly can. It doesn't have to be real pretty, you just want to make sure you get it into a nice little ball. I'm going to take all of this out of here. So now this actually goes in the refrigerator for an hour. We don't have time to wait for this, so TV magic, let me step out of frame for a quick second. Put that in, and we forgot something. We forgot to add, oh, this is really good. See, I told you there was going to be some comedy in here. Whoa, I forgot to add the butter. That's like the main part of this whole thing, is the butter to this. So I'll figure that out later. In the interim, TV Magic allows me to have that. So I'm going to stick this in here, and I'm going to set this outside so I can get to it after we're all done. But we'll just pretend you saw that. There were little, this is the secret actually, is you take a square, you take your butter, and actually on the butter it's asking for 2.5 sticks of butter. And just in case you're not aware, let me get a little extra flour. I'm going to dust this area, and I'm going to move some stuff out of the way. I didn't need this milk. Oh, I really hate to lose. Whoops. See, I told you more mishaps. Hold on. There we go. Saved by the bell. Oh, did you hear the bell? All right. Hey, when you're inside a small kitchen, you got to do what you can do, right? Right. Okay. Clearing the way. Spread out my flour a little bit more. So what I was saying is that, let me pull that out again real quick just to show everybody. So the flour, or the butter, you actually cut it into little pieces. See that? And then this is mixed and coated into the flour before you add the milk. So I'm going to still make it work in that one. And I'll do that after we're all done. But luckily, earlier today, I made, so can you see the little pieces of butter? It's all in there. So this is where I was saying that if you're a French baker, don't get mad at me. It works though, and we needed to have that time. So I'm just spreading this around. So now, the whole idea about when you make croissants, and I know this is what scared people, I know it scared me.
Is that Grandma in the back? Yes.
Yes, that is Grandma in the back. She's my audience, guys. Okay, so my dough, you have to laminate that butter and get that butter inside into the flour. And normally, laminating is when you take butter and you take a sheet of butter, you put it on top of your dough, and then you work it into the dough by folding it over. We're going to do the same thing here. The only difference is that we're going to be, I'm not making a square, which would be another time-consuming time that I want it to come out of. So make sure you flour your rolling pin. And if anyone noticed there was anything on it, it's because, like I said, I did one earlier. So now you're going to take this, and I'm throwing a little extra flour only because I had too much liquid in mine. So laminating is a way to incorporate that butter, because it's that butter that we all love, right? It just makes everything so yummy.
Maureen's on.
Oh, hey, Maureen. And I think you said Steph was on there also. Mm-hmm. All right, so now at this point, I'm actually going to use this to help me scrape it up So in laminating, we're doing the same thing. If you were doing this with the regular way, instead of using little squares of butter, making one big square, you would do this as well. And then, again, flour. And you just keep doing it. So that was one fold. With this recipe, what I learned from what I did already earlier is that 4 folds should be plenty.
Is that butter right there on the top?
That's butter, you got it. And so the whole idea is to incorporate that butter right into that dough. So this was in the refrigerator for more than an hour. So it's a little tougher. It's cold, which is a good thing. You don't want your dough to be soft. You do not want it soft. So it's okay if it gets hard, because it's better. If it starts to get too soft, you actually need to put it back in the refrigerator. And part of my concern is that it's warm in here. This is a small kitchen. We have all sorts of light going on because we're trying to get this done. Okay. I don't know about you all, but I'm so excited about having a fresh homemade croissant.
I'm ready.
Yeah, my sister is ready. Mom, are you ready to have a fresh croissant?
I'm ready already.
She's ready already, she said. Okay, again.
Acacia's on.
Hey, Acacia. Don't laugh at what I'm doing. Acacia is a really good baker. Now, I will tell you, I do plan on doing one, and I'll just do it on a video, and I'll put it up on YouTube, where I laminate the dough the way it's supposed to be. Hey, see, I did it, Ken, I got it. On Instagram as well as Facebook. Let me take a quick peek over here. Carla. Oh, she's sending me signals, guys. Okay. So you can't see this. I wish you could. You could start to see that was 2, so this is going to be 3 already. Anna-Marie, can you tilt the camera a little bit? Can you see the dough actually?
Yep.
Okay, so if you really look close, the butter is starting to spread out now. This is so cool to actually watch. That was the 3rd time. Wait, no, that was the 2nd or 3rd. So now I am going to, I think I'm going to do it, I think I only need to do it one more time. Because what you want to do is be able to see that butter streaking through your dough. Once it's streaking through the dough, then you know you've got the sheets that you need. You know, like when you have a croissant, that's like the best part, is seeing those layers, right? That's exactly what this will do. I think they're not like giant pats anymore, and that's what's so awesome. I really think this may be the last time I need to do this. Hey, look, you're getting a workout at the same time, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know there were a lot of lives going on right now on Facebook, so the cool thing is I am going to be putting this on YouTube, so if you missed it, you can see it on YouTube, plus I'll be keeping it on there as well. I think maybe it could go one more fold. That'll be 4 folds. It says in her recipe that you could actually do up 4 to 6 folds, but after doing this morning, I realized that I think 5 to 6 folds is way too much, because you don't want to lose the butter in there. You want to keep that butter. So I'm just gonna, this will be the last fold. We may even do this sooner than an hour, guys. There we go. That looks really, really good. All right, so guess what? Now you have to wrap it back up again. And this time you're doing another hour.
Acacia wants to know whose recipe is it? She missed it.
This actually came from momentbaking.com. And the reason why I decided to use, it's not one that I would have normally gone to, but again, Acacia, since you missed, you may not have heard, but the whole idea was if I did this lamination the way it should have been done, I wouldn't have enough butter. And I wasn't going to have enough yeast because I would have had to have done 3 batches. And there is no way I was going to get 3 batches, not with the ingredients I have. As it is, I'm going to have to. It's not COVID. I have allergies, people. So I'm going to put this into the refrigerator. And TV magic. So this is, again, mini. And the only reason why it's mini is because I did the exact same dough that I just put in the refrigerator. But then I cut it in half, because I wanted to make sure we had enough. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but there are layers in here. So if you pull that up close, let's see, who else, someone else. Oh, hey, Irene, how are you? Okay, so now I'm gonna lightly flour my surface again, because now we're gonna get to the fun part and we're gonna roll these out.
Roberto Carlos?
Yeah, hey, Roberto, how are you? You know, the idea and why I started doing this, guys, was because after the last 2 places shut down, that accounts of mine, I had to sit back. I guess it took me about a week to kind of lick my wounds and get a little upset that COVID was taking away my business. There was nowhere else I could sell to. And then I was trying to figure out, how can I do this? How can I create this business and do more with it, or at least keep the name out there? And then I started thinking, well, what if I do more retail instead of wholesale, since all my places had closed? And the problem with that was that my mother's doctor called and said, listen, you guys need to keep your mother safe because this would not be good for her to get. So I need you all to promise me that you are going to stay inside. You are not going to go to work. You're not going to go anywhere. You need to stay in and make sure your mom is safe. So 4 out of the 5 siblings agreed that we were going to be able to do it. My brother is working from home. Okay. The youngest brother, unfortunately, he works with the VA or with vets. And he is out there in the field every day, and he's helping vets. So he's not allowed to come in and hang out with our mom, as where the 4 of us are. So anyway, that's when I decided, why don't I start making things that I think you all will enjoy, because I'm sure some of you would have loved to have been somewhere to get a nice fresh croissant, right? Or the scones. Check out my YouTube. The scones, look, the video was horrible, but the scones, oh my God, they are so delicious. Anna Marie?
The scones were yummy.
They were really good.
And
okay.
Very flaky.
Oh yeah, they were so flaky and buttery. Oh my God, they were delicious. Okay, so here's the thing. Right about now, a pizza cutter is the best thing because you just wheel across, but my pizza cutter doesn't turn. So it's turning a little bit more right now. Let me see if I can get it to work. Nope. So I won't even go there because I don't want to rip the dough. So I'm going to use my knife.
Monique's on.
Hey! That's my daughter. Okay, so I'm going to cut off these edges because we don't want our croissants to be messed up. I was talking about I'm going to make these at Easter time and make them gluten-free. And I have just enough dough. Well, that depends if I can get some yeast.
Roberto wants to know what you are currently making.
I am actually making croissants. What I am doing though is I am actually doing a quick croissant. So Roberto, instead of doing the lamination with the butter, you know, where you make a big pat of butter and you put it into the dough and fold it in, I actually ended up opting for a recipe that I found. And that recipe said to just kind of mix it all together and then you roll it out. So it works. So now, according to my recipe, I need to do 5 inches. So that would be right here.
Acacia said check Baker's Bodega Express for yeast.
Oh, good, I will. Thank you, Acacia. Okay, so again, using my knife. Cut that. Now, the person who I got this recipe from, people asked her, what does she do with the leftover dough? She said she just throws it away. I can't. I'm saving this puppy because I know it's going to be delicious. You could do all sorts of different things. How about taking chicken, leftover chicken, adding some gravy to it, and then use this as a crust on top, throw in some peas and carrots, whether it's fresh or frozen, and then roll this out and set this on top, and you kind of have a chicken pot pie. How exciting would that be? Okay, so now I've got 2 squares. Now, when you do the full, you get a lot more out of it. You get close to 20, I believe. But again, I'm doing smaller version. So then you end up with this. Same thing here. I just want to make sure it's floured down there. And don't worry about it stretching because you almost want that peak to stretch out. We're coming to the end, guys. And what time is it? 3:26, almost time. All right, so now here's the fun part. We get to roll them. Now here's a little trick that I learned from quite a few different people that did this, and I like the whole theory on it. So if you do about a 1/2 inch cut on the long side, this is going to help when it bakes so that you get that crescent roll, right? And you try to do that 1/2 inch right in the middle. So I'm just going to throw a little 1/2 inch in there. And you know how when you try to roll something and it's round, you always have that upset? So that little slit is going to keep it from tearing. And then all you do is take the edges and you roll them. Roll, roll. And always make sure that the end point is at the bottom. Turn this over. You could put a little pinch there. Guess what? That's going to come off anyway. Hey, Mom, can I have that cookie tray? Here we go. Thank you. Say
You're
hi.
welcome.
Wave hi.
Hi.
Okay, so I'm going to put this right up here. And here's my pretty little croissant, little mini one. When I do the other ones, I'll take a picture and post them. Those will be done after I'm done here. I'll make them since I have everything out. So I'm not at the kitchen. I'm doing this at home. Simply, and as you're rolling it, kind of turn it so you create that edge. And then rolling, rolling, rolling. Get that point underneath, turn, and pinch.
Monique likes your headscarf.
Thank you.
Stephanie said pink for girl power.
That's right. Girl power all the way.
And hi, Grandma.
That's my daughter and my niece.
Stephanie said hi.
Mom,
Hi.
Stephanie said hi.
Hi.
You can come and wave if you want. We're all here together. Okay. One more to do. You want to make sure you keep that underneath because that just holds it. Because, you know, otherwise when it's baking, it's going to try to go up. last one, under, turn, get that crescent that we all know. So here's the last one. Now here's the interesting thing. Now guess what, guys? Now this has to rest for 2 hours. Hey Kathy, I see you're on. So this is going to rest for 2 hours. And I think, Carla, what are you asking? I need to show us how you are doing it. Oh, you couldn't see how I did that? What I did is, let me just take this. I'll use this as an example. So this is, can you see the counter, Carla? Let me look. I just rolled it out. I'm just going to kind of do a makeshift one with this leftover dough.
Yeah, you might as well stick it on the pan too.
Yes, I will. My camera person, my sister, is asking, take that one and stick it in the pan. So these are really going to be little mini ones. Cut that in half. I don't even know if this will come out right, but I think Carla's right so that you can see exactly how this is done.
Jan Salinas joined.
Oh, okay, great. Hi. Okay, so what I did is I rolled it out. I got a rectangle, as you can see, almost like a square, and then I diagonally cut it, and that gave me 2 pieces, right? And you see the bottom part down here and the top. I took this top part and I'm going to make a little incision in it. See that? And then I'm literally going to just roll this up. I'm going to use my hand here just so that you guys can see. So this is really a baby one. This one might burn. I'll do this one separate. And you fold this over. I was getting a phone call there. And you kind of tap the 2 edges together. Those edges are going to come off during baking. Again, you take your little triangle here and you're going to roll it down. Make sure that the point is at the bottom. Fold it over and pinch. This bottom part is what you're going to put to the baking dish.
Jan wants to know what you're making.
I'm actually doing croissants, homemade croissants. And again, if anyone, just yourself, Jan, the whole idea of doing this particular recipe, which I will post all of it on there, I got that from bakingmoment.com. And the reason why I used it is that she did something a little bit different. Instead of doing the laminating the way you normally would, which is you'd have your dough all made, then you take a sheet of butter, literally, and you put that right in there. But time constraint as well as ingredients made it a little tough. So instead, what she did is she said, take the butter, cut it into little squares, and then you take that and you work it into your dough and laminate it like you normally would. It looks a little strange, but it comes out just perfectly. So let me look at the time, 3:32. We're a little bit early.
Patricia joined.
Hey, Patricia. Okay, so these are my other ones, and they did get, so you have to proof it, and you should be proofing them for about an hour. So I'm going to stick these, it's a little bit early, but I'm going to go ahead and stick these in the oven. We'll see what happens. And see if I can get these out before...
For how long?
4 o'clock. You do it for 15 to 20 minutes. My oven is really hot, so I'm going to put it in for 15 minutes and see if we get that nice golden brown. Okay, any other questions? Oops, sorry.
Jan wants to know if you'll post a finished product picture.
Absolutely, I will. Absolutely. If you didn't see the scones, if you love scones, go to Mama Cheesecake on YouTube and you'll see the footage. It was the first time I did it this way, and I did it by myself, so it got a little crazy, so it's a little long. It's very raw, but it worked. I ended up with this amazing scone. You didn't see the finished product because I didn't understand how all that worked, but I was able to take a picture, and I did a quick little boomerang on it and showed you a little scone with a bite in it and showing all the layers in it. delicious. And the recipe is on there, so it's so good. Go back and try that as well.
Roberto wants to know what's the temperature to preheat the oven.
Oh, good question. That's actually 375. So 375, and I'll have that all in when I'm done. I will go ahead and put it on Facebook as well as Instagram so that you guys know. And I'm telling you, this was so simple and easy. Look, it's not even 4 o'clock yet. It's 3:34. We're early. We're going to be done. So
Jen and Monique want to know about chocolate.
Oh, actually,
It says we need chocolate.
I agree. So here's what you do with chocolate. I'm going to step out of frame for a quick moment because I forgot to do that earlier. I'm going to grab my chocolate. Somewhere in here, I'm going to grab my chocolate. Ah, I found it. Okay. So I like to use, I'm going to do it on the little mini one. I'll do it on the bigger one when I get that other one in, and I'll post a picture. So I like to use Enjoy Life. This is the mega chunk one, and it is semi-sweet. Look at that chunk. That's a nice chunk of chocolate. In a big one, I would use 2 of these, but in this little itty bitty one, you would take it and you would put it right in there. So when you start rolling it, let's put it, in fact, what I'm going to do is take that little piece, because this is really an itty bitty. I'm going to put a piece and a piece. Just to show you guys, let me lift it up. So what I did is I took, because remember I mentioned about doing the little cut, then you take your piece of chocolate and put it right there. And you're going to fold it in.
My mouth is watering.
Right? Mine too. Because, right, nothing like a nice chocolate croissant. And then you do the same thing. Now, these are so many, they're barely folding over. But I will do some with the large ones. So, does that answer? Hopefully that answered your question on the chocolate. And I Enjoy Life. This is a vegan brand. So, there is no dairy in here.
Monique said, can you save this to your highlights so we can watch again later, please?
Oh, absolutely I can. Good idea. Yes, I will definitely do that on both. Let me see. Is there anything else? Don't say it. Well, Carla, I have 15 minutes. I got to kill the time. So I'm just trying to answer some questions from Instagram as well. Any other questions? If not, we can stand around, pick our nose, but I don't want to do that.
You don't put egg wash on them or anything?
Yes. Actually, I forgot that. So let's take these and cover this. You put saran wrap on it, and then you take a towel, and you throw the towel on there. Bloom where you are planted. Isn't that so cute? I'm going to put this over here. And I wonder if it's too late. Well, I'll tell you what, guys. That's it. I will turn around and post the finished product because I don't think we want to sit here and wait till these are done. There's nothing else for me to do but show you how I would clean this mess. But I don't think you want to stick around for that. Anyway, hope you learned something. Hope you got something out of it. And just, again, want to throw out there, if you can't find any double acting or active dry yeast, what I did.
That again, please?
Yeah. Active dry yeast. You can actually make your own, believe it or not. People used to do this a lot. Active dry yeast is what helps to make this rise. It's actually a combination. It causes a carbon dioxide. And that carbon dioxide is because you have baking soda and a acid. And when those two are mixed together and the heat hits it, it rises. So you can do that using baking powder because baking powder actually has both in it. It has the baking soda and it has the acid. The acid in baking powder is actually cream of tartar, which is an acid. So that works. Or you could use baking soda and you could use lemon juice. And it's, so if you needed 1 teaspoon of yeast, you would do 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 1 teaspoon of lemon. I've had people say, well, what if I don't have lemon? Then what do I do? Actually, you could use buttermilk. You could take buttermilk and add lemon to that, or you could also add vinegar to it. Just another thought. There are ways of doing things, and you can make this gluten-free. Okay, any other questions? Okay, I think we're done, guys. Hopefully this comes out delicious. I'll take pictures, and bon appetit when we have these. Definitely, that's for sure.
Yummy.
Mama signing off. Thank you guys for watching. Next Wednesday I'll be back. Don't know what I'm going to create. If you guys have some idea, drop me a line and let me know what you want to see baked. Okay? Have a good one all. Bye.
Bye.